Welcome to the video, guys. This morning's mainstream media was full to the brim with Labour leadership candidates waffling crap on a range of subjects, including Brexit, immigration, the last election, and of course the incompetent shitweasel known as Jeremy Corbyn. It was a goldmine from both the BBC and Sky News, featuring Richard Bergen, Keir Starmer, Angela Rayner, and Corbyn in a skirt, Rebecca Wrong Daly. It is comedy gold that these tosspots actually think they stand a chance of winning the next election, or any election for that matter. And the clips I have for you here prove that beyond any doubt. So first, let's take a look at a couple of clips from the frontrunner Sir Keir Starmer, giving his thoughts on the Brexit situation and Jeremy Corbyn's future in the Labour Party, before we hear from the others.
You obviously travelled the country a lot during the election. I certainly did too. I spoke to a lot of voters, and Brexit, as you know, was brought up an awful lot.
Oh, I agree with that.
Particularly with Leave voters who thought that the policy for a second referendum was overturning their vote.
Well, it came up.
I mean, you were a big architect of that position.
It came up. Actually, that position was adopted firstly by the shadow cabinet and then by our
party
conference. I thought it was the right policy. I thought we should have gone on, by the way, and actually said which side we would be campaigning for if there was a referendum.
Do you still
and
think...
I warned our party that if we looked indecisive, we wouldn't look like we were leading on this issue. But of course it came up. I think our biggest problem, in a sense, was that we didn't knock down that phrase, get Brexit done. I mean, we had a manifesto with lots and lots of policies in it. Boris Johnson had 3 words, and we didn't knock it down.
Well, the likely future leader of the Labour Party is too much of a snivelling shitweasel to admit he was in the wrong for pushing the disastrous second referendum policy with all the force that he did. Instead, trying to blame everyone else in the shadow cabinet and even the Labour members he needs to vote for him next month, rather than accepting it was him who pushed that policy more than anyone else in the Labour Party. He was shadow Brexit sec, so was in charge of Labour's Brexit policy, and you even heard him say during that clip he wanted to go much further than just a second referendum like the Liberal Democrats did. Oh, if only they did, it would have been great. Joe Swinson levels of stupidity is always welcome from the Labour Party. Now let's move on, because he is about to double down on that nonsense.
You said that you thought that was the right policy. Do you still think it was the right policy?
Oh, yes, of course, because what we were doing was we were fighting against a deal that we thought would be very damaging for our country. And it is important to remember that for month after month after month, and you will have seen this, I was standing there putting forward amendments to get a deal over the line. It was only when we were confronted with Theresa May's deal and then Boris Johnson's deal, which I believe will be damaging for the country, that we even entertained the question of putting it back for people to agree or not agree. So I don't know how many times I pushed an amendment for a customs union, and we got within 3 votes of it. Had that succeeded, we would have left with a deal. So we only moved on to the question of a second referendum to protect the country against a damaging Brexit.
Well, you heard it there. He actually thinks it was the right policy to try and ignore the democratic wish of the British people and attempt to hold a second referendum that, as we all know, Ramonas wouldn't have allowed to go the other way this time. But him claiming he was putting amendments down to get Brexit done is complete bollocks. He was putting amendments forward to give us a Brexit in name only, or remain via a second referendum, and other backhanded tactics allowed by the worthless little fuckpig John Burcunt. It's common knowledge that Keir Starmer was one of the leaders of the Remain camp within Parliament. I mean, his idea of leaving, you heard, was involving a customs union, so remaining in the EU essentially. What a fucking idiot.
Would Jeremy Corbyn have a place in your shadow cabinet then? Richard Bergen's answered the question.
These questions we get about who'd be in the shadow, I am focused on winning this race. And I'm not going to be presumptuous about what might happen afterwards. I'm very good friends with Jeremy, spent a lot of time with him in the last 3.5 years. He's a friend and he's a colleague, and I respect what he's done for our party. Led us through very difficult times, but I just want to stay disciplined and professional about what needs to happen next, and that is that this campaign, which is a very positive campaign I'm running, needs to succeed, and then we take the decisions thereafter.
Now, I only included that clip because this idiot says he respects what Corbyn has done for the Labour Party. Oh yeah, let's respect the waste of space that dragged us to the worst election defeat in 85 years. That is definitely worth respecting, ain't it, you dopey twat? The comical level of derangement shown is incredible, and the Labour Party claims he is their best hope for the future, Well, fuck my old boots. We are in for a funny few years, guys. I'm sure you will all agree. But enough from Steuerman. Let's hear from a deputy leadership candidate now on the Andrew Marsh Show, discussing her vision for immigration.
Let's look a bit more at your policies. What is your own personal view of freedom of movement and extending freedom of movement?
I think we've got to have a fair system. I think freedom of movement as it currently stands as we leave the EU will end. And we've got to have a fair system. We can't have a points system that actually doesn't recognise that actually our values and what we've stood for as a country about how people have come and contributed to this country is the most important. I tackled Nigel Farage on it during the general election because I think it's disgusting what some of our politicians have said to denigrate people that have come to our country and work and contribute here.
The Labour conference passed a motion saying that it should be extended, freedom of movement. Do you agree with that?
I think that we should be celebrating people coming to this country and working hard. I think there's a misconception that there's suddenly our country's awash with people that are coming here getting free benefits, getting social housing. It's just not true. People come to this country, they work hard.
And
we
so
have
if
to
you
have a
were
fair system that people understand.
Well, that so-called fair system she wants is shared by many Labour leadership candidates, as we will hear. What she really means is free movement for the EU or open borders for the world. Simply because the only other options is either based on the merits of the individual wanting to come here regardless of race or nationality, in other words, a points-based system, or no immigration at all, which would not benefit us in the long run. The mental gymnastics she goes through to avoid saying, yes, I want free movement and open borders is incredible, before claiming politicians have been saying shit against immigrants, when I am actually yet to hear one blame the immigrants for any situation that is going on. Most people blame the EU's free movement policy, which thankfully we won't have to deal with for much longer. But in true Labour fashion, she's not finished there. We then get to her baseless claims that the country is not awash with people sponging off the state from other countries, which really pisses me off. Have you stepped outside your house in the last 20 years, you demented seal? There are many people from every nation literally raking in some form of taxpayer-funded benefit or council house for some reason or another. And yes, while some do graft to put back into the country, buy their own houses or rent privately, the issues your old voters have is with those who don't. And just take, while you sit there making out like it's not happening, or as your friends do in the Labour Party, call them all racist. I mean, to sit there and make out like that is not happening is yet another reason why the Labour Party lost the last election and will continue to lose many more. But let's move on. She is about to call for open borders, even after her mental gymnastics in the last clip, avoiding it like the bubonic plague.
If you're a deputy leader, which you probably will be, would you be fighting to extend freedom of movement?
I'll be fighting to make sure we have a fair system that's transparent, that recognises that our country has always had immigration and it's always been a positive for this country.
One more time. Would you be fighting to extend freedom of movement?
I will be making sure that everyone's welcome in this country and contributes to this
Everybody's
country.
welcome.
Not a hostile environment which this government has created.
Yes, Angela, the country always had immigration. No one is saying we should have none. That is not what you were being asked, is it, you dopey bin? He asked about freedom of movement, which when pushed on it, she let slip she will push for everyone to be welcome in the UK, which is rightly picked up on by Ma, who calls it what it is. Open borders. What a disingenuous spunk trumpet she really is. Actually, they all are. Nothing more, nothing less.
You kept your seat, but you lost 5,000 votes. And presumably you have talked to at least some of those people who were Labour voters and moved to the Tories, as they have done all across the country. And you must know that one of the issues that they were moving on was immigration. And it may be, it's a painful, hard lesson for the Labour Party, but maybe you are out of touch with your own voters when it comes to immigration.
Well, no shit, Sherlock.
There was a couple of things that my electorate told me. One was that they didn't think that we had a coherent policy on Brexit. They were angry about that. They felt that our offer was more of a retail offer and that it wasn't achievable. They felt that we wasn't going to keep the country safe and they was concerned about that. And they wanted a fair system on immigration. They didn't say they wanted to end freedom of movement. They said they want a fair system. This country has always been
they
a
heard
fair
the Labour
system.
Party apparently being in favour of almost open borders when it comes to immigration, extending freedom of movement, which is what we were talking about. And that's what a lot of people didn't like.
Well, you see, this is the interesting thing, because a lot of people think that the red wall seats Midlands and the North is that we're all somehow, you know, closet racists and we don't like people coming to this country. It's completely untrue. We're actually quite a migrant country anyway, and have been, you know, that I've got a huge Irish community, and they've been there for decades, as well as our Windrush generation that have been attacked.
To be fair,
so actually what we want, and what my voters say to me is they want a transparent, fair immigration policy that recognises contributions that people make to this country.
And to want some kind of immigration controls does not make you racist. I mean,
no, it doesn't.
Absolutely, we accept that.
It doesn't.
Now, can you believe that shit? What Leave voter has she spoke to that told her they didn't want to end freedom of movement? This I would really love to know. Some of it she might have even been half right on. But to outright lie like that is a sign of things to come from this bint when she is the Labour deputy leader. When Ma points out it was Labour conference policy to move to open borders, she then claims the red wall seats who ditched the Labour Party are seen by many people as closet racists, when the only people who say that are Labour Party MPs and of course the Lib Dems and both party supporters. I think you will all agree with that. No one outside of the Ramona circles you live in thinks shit like that for various reasons, but number one being freedom of movement favours white Europeans, you complete melt. Last I checked, it's extremely hard to be racist against other white people, and her analogy of how tolerant and not racist the North is makes no sense, and I'm struggling to figure out how it's even relevant to the current conversation going on. She claims the North loves immigrants because we have a massive Irish community, which last time I checked was also a white country, and as for the Windrush generation who came here decades ago, like the Irish, was in a time when we had immigration controls, you complete idiot. So I fail to see how any of that backs up your claim that the North now wants unrestricted immigration from 27 nations or more. How are these imbeciles in positions of power? It baffles me, but well done to Andrew Marr for reminding the country wanting to control immigration is not racist. Labour would usually claim it is. But anyway, let's move on and see what golden nuggets Richard Bergen had for us this morning. He is a prize-winning prat after all.
What he told us, he said people brought up the leadership of the Labour Party, they brought up Brexit, they thought the manifesto was overloaded, and in a number of places they brought up anti-Semitism. So there are a number of reasons. Do you agree with that from Sir Keir Starmer?
Well, all of these things have been mentioned, but I think some of them are linked. For example, when Keir says they brought up the leadership of the Labour Party and the overloading of the manifesto, I think lots of these things came down to trust. And so in 2017, we had the same leader, a manifesto of socialist policies, and we nearly won. 2019, same leader, manifesto of socialist policies, and we got smashed.
Just wow, what world is he living in that the Labour Party almost won the 2017 election? They got 260 odd seats. That's not nearly winning. The incompetent dipshit Theresa May nearly lost the 2017 election to a clusterfuck of Ramona parties led by the Corbynated chicken. Labour never nearly won shit. They went up against a Tory leader who was not far off the incompetence level Corbyn has. Maybot was unelectable to a lot of people for various reasons, just a few less anti-British ones than Iran's man in the UK. To not see that obvious fact shows the levels of delusion Labour MPs suffer from. I absolutely love it. Now let's see what else he had to say.
Do you think it's more about Brexit than Keir Starmer is saying, though?
I respectfully disagree with him on his analysis in relation to Brexit, and I think Brexit did overshadow the election. And so when people didn't trust us to deliver the policies in the manifesto, what people often say to me on the doorstep is, you couldn't even get Brexit done, and now you're promising this. So I think it went to the heart of this. And it's also why I think that the people were successful in portraying Jeremy not as an insurgent anymore, but more of an establishment figure, which he's certainly not, because people have the idea that we were somehow trying to block the will of the people in relation to the outcome of the EU referendum.
Oh, this tired old line from these ardent Corbynistas is fucking hilarious. Yes, Brexit played a part, as did the manifesto, but even without Brexit, the Corbynated chicken and Labour's love for open borders and everyone who hates this country was already enough to cause the Labour Party to lose any election. Couple that with the socialist policies the people of this country don't want, that the current Labour Party is so dead set on, Brexit was just a nail in the coffin. The fucker was already 6 foot under at the end of the day. Brexit had a role, but your mate Jeremy Corbyn was what killed it. Everyone knows who he considers friends, and they will never forget it. Richard is so lost though, it's unreal. He said the fact Jeremy Corbyn was portrayed as an establishment figure and not an insurgent cost him at the ballot box. What world is he living in that makes him think the people of this country want someone who considers himself an insurgent as their Prime Minister? I really am baffled by his stupidity. Deluded is an understatement.
Many people in the Labour Party think, and Keir Starmer reflects that a little bit, that the manifesto was a problem as well, that it wasn't credible. People didn't believe it. Do you accept that?
No, I don't accept that. I'm proud of the manifesto we stood on. I think the manifesto contains policies which contain the solutions to many of the problems faced by communities and all our diversity across the country. And what I would say is that the socialist policies in the manifesto were not the reason we lost the general election. It wasn't because of the £10 an hour minimum wage, taking rail, mail and water into public ownership, that we lost the general election. We lost the general election because it became the Brexit election that Boris Johnson wanted.
Some people listening to that will say, you need to get real. It was the worst defeat for 85 years. Of course the manifesto was part of it. Or is ideological purity, coming up with the right solutions, better than winning?
Now, I don't even need to respond to that one. Sophie Ridge said it all. Get real, mate. Wake the fuck up. These people are lost, guys. There really is no way back, is there?
Quickly, you told HuffPost this weekend that if Jeremy Corbyn was Shadow Foreign Secretary, that would be ideal. So would you like the contenders for the leadership to be considering giving him that job in their shadow cabinets?
Well, I think if they become leader, they should consider all the options. The point I was making in the interview is that Jeremy Corbyn's made a fantastic contribution to socialist politics in our country. He's made many gains in the Labour Party. He's made us an anti-austerity party, a democratic members-led party,
so an
anti-war internationalist party. I think that he'd do a great job. But the point I was making in the interview is that it's not the end for Jeremy Corbyn. He's got a long political career ahead of him, should he wish. He's 10 years younger nearly than Bernie Sanders, who also has a big political career ahead of him. So I'm sure whatever Jeremy wants to do, he's got a big contribution to make to our party.
Well, he's got jokes there, I think you will agree. Jeremy Corbyn has made a fantastic contribution to socialist policies in the UK and made large gains in the Labour Party. Is he for real? Your socialist policies got thoroughly shit on by the electorate and Labour suffered the worst defeat in 85 years at the ballot box. Please tell me where Jeremy Corbyn benefited your cause or Labour's election performance. I will rate right here. Don't worry though, I won't hold my breath. But no, Richard, it is the end for Jeremy Corbyn, even if you do name-check your fellow socialist spunk trumpet, Bernie Sanders, at the end there. It's game over for the Commissar and his socialist dreams. They are resigned to the dustbin of history where they belong. And Trump will put American socialism in the bin where it belongs at the end of this year. Now, finally, let's get back to the leadership contenders, namely Rebecca Wrong-Daly, or Corbyn in a skirt.
Now, I know you don't like being described as the continuity Corbyn candidate, but Jeremy Corbyn, only last month at a meeting said this: "It's an absolute pleasure to be here alongside Becky Long-Bailey, our candidate for leader." Was that unhelpful?
Not unhelpful. I mean, Jeremy and myself are friends, but it's quite disrespectful sometimes when I'm termed the continuity candidate. I've always been strong to my principles. Everybody knows what I believe in and I'll never deviate from that. But I'm very much my own person, and to suggest I'm a continuation of any individual is quite disrespectful, well, not least because I'm a woman, quite frankly. It
may not be about gender, but about politics, because by our candidate, did he not mean that you are the candidate of the Socialist Campaign Group, which includes
I
Jeremy Corbyn, John McDonnell, Diane Abbott and you and Richard Bergen?
I am the candidate of the Socialist Campaign Group, but I'm also the candidate of various trade unions and indeed a number of constituency parties who've nominated me, and I thank them all for their support.
Quick word of advice there, Becky. Corbyn backing you in anything is always going to be unhelpful, let's be honest. It's like an endorsement from Jimmy Savile, for fuck's sake. But as per usual, for female Labour MPs, everything has to be about the fact she has a pair of beef curtains between her legs, rather than the fact she is literally Corbyn in a skirt to most people. Drop me out for fuck's sake. There are many things wrong with you. Being a woman is the least of them, let me tell you. Now, let's check out our final clip for this video and hear what Wrong-Daly has to say about immigration.
In the same context, I asked Angela Rayner about free movement, extending free movement, which your party has voted for. Do you believe in extending free movement rights?
My own personal view on this, Andrew, is I am in favour of free movement, but We've got to be pragmatic and realise the position that
Because
we're in.
a lot of your voters are not, or potential Labour voters left the Labour Party, giving you the worst, I think, election defeat since 1935, and went to the Conservatives on precisely this issue.
Well,
what I'm wondering, have you changed your mind at all
Well,
on
that's
this?
right, but whatever we believe on freedom of movement, we're not in government. We have got a Conservative government with a huge majority. And our role now as an opposition is to make sure that when the government formulates its new immigration system, it's based on fairness, it's based on values, not targets. It ends the hostile environment. It ends the no recourse to public funds. It extends voting rights for all migrants who come to this country. And it's about instilling a system of fairness.
Now, at first in that clip, you think, oh no, she is learning a lesson. We might be in trouble here, because she admits immigration will change now. But by the end of it, her true colours come to the fore and show us she has not learned a fucking thing from the last election. She wants to make sure immigration is based on values, not targets, meaning wokeness over actual benefits to the country, which is the only reason immigration should even exist. Because remember, immigration and taking in genuine refugees are completely different, even if politicians on all sides have been trying to fudge that definition for a long time now. A legitimate refugee seeking safety from persecution and death should stop in the first safe country as per international law, whereas an economic migrant will travel to where they can make the most money, obviously, since they are not running away from despotic regimes and will do this illegally in some cases, as we all know. Now, luckily for us, as an island nation, we should not get too many refugees because there are many places in Europe to go where they love the whole open borders, come and do as you please sort of shit we have seen too much of. Hopefully, like I've said, that will all change soon. Immigration policies should reflect this very important difference, which Rebecca proves she does not want to see happen, because she knows the only way for her or any Labour leader to become Prime Minister is to import new voters, which you actually heard her say during that clip. She wants immigrants to have voting rights and access to state benefits. Paying them to vote for her, it sounds like to me. And using your tax money to do it, because in her mind, guys, that is fair. What a low-life dirty dog cunt she really is. But on that note, guys, I am going to end the video there. Now, before I go, I've started doing live streams and uploading gaming content on my second channel. If you would like to come and join me for a live stream to chat in real time, have an interest in gaming related content on YouTube, or just want to follow me over there because you are a legend, the link will be down in the video description below and as a pinned comment. I hope to see you all there. Now, as always, before I go, I want to thank our PayPal, Patreon, Subscribestar and YouTube members for supporting the channel, along with everyone who watches my videos. Remember to let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Leave a like, subscribe with the notification bell and share this video as it helps the channel a lot. And I will see you all in the next one.